Welcome, dear listener, to another quiet night here on the Dreamy Science Stories channel. I'm truly glad you've arrived, because tonight we'll gently wander through the silent marvels of the planet we call home. Wherever you find yourself right now, let this moment be your permission to slow down. Let the noise fade, the edges soften, and your thoughts settle like calm ripples on still water. Tonight, we remain anchored on Earth, because life here is far more mysterious, resilient, and extraordinary than we usually imagine. From glowing seas to creatures that escape aging, from ancient forests hidden beneath the soil to tiny animals that can endure the vacuum of space. Earth is alive with wonders that soothe the mind and spark quiet amazement. Some of these discoveries may shift the way you see the world. Others may drift past like soft petals on a breeze, gentle, curious, quietly unforgettable. If peaceful curiosity resonates with you, feel free to like or subscribe. It helps others find their way here too, one sleepy soul at a time. For now, settle in. Take a deep breath, and let's begin this slow, soothing journey through the quiet miracles of life on Earth. Drifting gently through warm Mediterranean waters lives a creature that bends one of nature's most universal rules. The tiny Turritopsis dawni, often called the immortal jellyfish, has a remarkable power. When injured, stressed, or aging, it can reverse itself back to its earliest form. Like a butterfly turning back into a caterpillar, it slips into its polyp stage and begins again. This isn't theory, scientists have watched it happen again and again. Unless it's eaten or destroyed, the jellyfish can repeat this cycle endlessly. In the stillness of a forest, a quiet exchange is happening beneath your feet. Trees, once thought to be isolated giants, are connected through vast fungal networks called mycorrhizae. Through these delicate threads, they share nutrients, send warnings, and support their young, so much so that some scientists call it the wood wide web. It adapted to cold, to heat, to acid, to vacuum, even to time itself. Every moment it seemed cornered, it discovered a new shape, a new strategy. It grew feathers, fur, armor, and thought. It built coral reefs and root systems, nests and cities. Even now, in the deepest caves, the saltiest lakes, and the hottest springs, life is beginning again and again. Not perfect, not always beautiful, but endlessly determined. In you, in me, in every leaf, every breath, every cell. The experiment continues, and the story is still being written. And now, with the final fact gently settling into place, let the world grow quiet around you. We've wandered through oceans and forests, deserts and tundras, mountain peaks and ancient roots. We've listened to the silent conversations of plants, the glow of jellyfish, the songs of whales. And through it all, one truth echoes softly beneath the surface. Life is extraordinary, not because it is flawless, but because it persists. It adapts. It endures. And it continues to surprise us. Somewhere right now, a coral is releasing its eggs into the dark. A bird is flying in its sleep. A flower is counting the footsteps of a bee. And you are part of this story, too, not separate from nature, but made of it. Cells and sparks, memories and motion, a living thread in the long, unfolding pattern of Earth. So wherever you are, allow your mind to rest. Let your breath slow. Let your thoughts soften at the edges. The journey doesn't end, it simply pauses here until curiosity calls again. Sleep well, and thank you for dreaming with us. Tardigrades, tiny, wrinkly, eight-legged creatures, are among the toughest life forms on Earth. They survive freezing cold, blistering heat, crushing pressure, radiation, and even outer space. They enter a state called cryptobiosis, drying themselves into tiny dormant forms, waiting, sometimes for years, until water brings them back to life. Today, oxygen keeps us alive. But billions of years ago, it was one of Earth's most dangerous toxins. Early microbial life thrived without it, until oxygen began to reshape the planet forever. Then came the cyanobacteria, tiny sun-powered microbes that quietly changed the entire planet. As they captured sunlight, they released oxygen as a simple waste product. At first, it was barely noticeable. But across millions of years, that oxygen began to accumulate. This slow transformation triggered what we now call the Great Oxidation Event, a turning point when oxygen swept across Earth's oceans and skies. For countless anaerobic species, oxygen was lethal. It corroded their cells and shattered ancient metabolisms, causing one of the earliest mass extinctions. But for others, this invisible gas became a new source of power, fueling the rise of complex life, and eventually, beings like us. In a way, every breath you take carries the memory of that ancient turning point. Oxygen doesn't just sustain life, it's a reminder of the worlds that came before us. We often imagine plants as gentle creatures, reaching for the sun in quiet patience. But some are anything but passive, they hunt. Carnivorous plants like the Venus flytrap, pitcher plant, and sundew lure insects with sweetness, scent, or shimmering droplets of nectar. A flytrap won't close right away. It counts the footsteps of its prey, snapping shut only after multiple touches. Pitcher plants create deep, slippery wells filled with digestive liquid, while sundews curl their sticky arms around whatever lands on them. They don't hunt out of cruelty, but necessity. They live in soils poor in nutrients, especially nitrogen. These quiet green predators remind us that survival comes in many forms, and that even the softest leaf may hide an unexpected hunger. Hold a leaf to the light, and you'll see an entire world of design, soft, fragile, and built with microscopic detail. A network of veins spreads like rivers, carrying water, minerals, and sugars to fuel photosynthesis. Tiny pores called stomata breathe in carbon dioxide and release oxygen, quiet valves of life. Some leaves follow the sun. Others repel water, store heat, or trap insects. No two leaves are exactly alike. Each one is a living work of art, fragile, purposeful, endlessly creative. Imagine walking along a dark shoreline at night and seeing the waves shimmer with blue-green light. This glow comes from bioluminescent plankton, tiny organisms that light up when disturbed. It's a cold, chemical light, similar to the glow of fireflies, released when a wave crashes or a hand stirs the water. In places like Mosquito Bay or the Maldives, entire coastlines glow, turning the ocean into a dream of moving stars. Here, in the quiet tide, the sea reminds us that even in darkness, life finds a way to shine. You may feel like a single being, one mind, one body. But in truth, you are an entire ecosystem. Trillions of microbes live on your skin, in your mouth, and deep in your gut, outnumbering your human cells. This vast, invisible community helps digest food, strengthen immunity, and even influence your mood. Your microbiome is a partner you carry everywhere, a silent intelligence intertwined with your own. So when you feel alone, remember, you are never truly a single organism. You are a walking world within a world. In the deep forests of South America, army ants move like a living current, flowing endlessly across the jungle floor. But when they encounter a gap or fallen branch, they don't hesitate or turn back. Instead, they build bridges, using themselves. One ant hooks its body to an anchor point. Another climbs on. Then another, and another, until a flexible, living structure stretches across the empty space. Thousands of tiny bodies link together, adjusting and shifting to support the steady stream of ants passing over them. And when their work is done, the bridge simply melts back into the marching river. No leader directs them. No plan is drawn. What forms is a quiet miracle of collective intelligence, each ant responding to the faint cues of its neighbors, creating something far stronger than any one could build alone. A bridge made of life, reshaped every moment, a reminder that unity itself can be an instinct. Octopuses can rewrite their own genetic instructions. In the hushed twilight of the ocean, the octopus drifts like a soft thought, changing shape, color, and texture with effortless grace. Its intelligence is already legendary, but beneath its skin lies an ability even stranger. Octopuses can edit their own RNA, the molecular messenger that carries the blueprint of DNA. While most creatures remain bound to the genetic script they are born with, octopuses can fine-tune how their genes are expressed, adjusting how their neurons fire or how their cells function in response to the world around them. It isn't the same as rewriting DNA, but it gives them an almost otherworldly flexibility. Scientists still don't fully understand it. And perhaps that mystery is fitting. After all, the octopus already feels like a visitor from a quieter, deeper world. Some animals seem to recognize themselves. Many creatures notice their reflection, but only a rare few seem to understand that the face looking back is their own. In the classic mirror test, an animal is marked with a spot they can't see unless they look in a reflective surface. If they examine the mark on their own body after seeing it in the mirror, it hints at self-recognition, a spark of awareness. Only a small list of species has passed so far: great apes, dolphins, elephants, magpies, and perhaps manta rays. Even some fish have shown hints of this quiet self-awareness. It doesn't mean they possess human-like consciousness, but it suggests something remarkable, that the boundary between self and other may shimmer differently across the animal kingdom. The sense of I may flicker in minds very different from our own. Life has survived 5 mass extinctions. Life on Earth is ancient, delicate, and astonishingly persistent. Over the past 500 million years, our planet has undergone at least 5 catastrophic mass extinctions. Each one erased most species alive at the time. The most devastating of all, the Permian extinction, wiped out over 90% of marine life and nearly 3/4 of life on land. Volcanoes, meteor impacts, shifting climates, each event shattered the world's living tapestry. And yet, life returned. Not as it was before, but in new forms, new branches on the tree of existence. Tiny survivors became the ancestors of everything alive today. Life doesn't just endure, it reshapes itself, even in the silence after disaster. We are part of that long, unbroken thread, woven through collapse and renewal. Mushrooms can control the minds of insects. In the dim, humid undergrowth of a forest, an unsettling story unfolds, one where fungi take command of tiny living bodies. Certain species, like Ophiocordyceps, infect insects such as ants, spreading through their tissues and altering their behavior from the inside. Once the fungus gains control, the ant climbs upward, finds a leaf or branch, and bites down. Then it freezes. The fungus ends the ant's life and grows a stalk from its body, releasing spores to drift down onto new hosts. It is precise, eerie, and incredibly efficient, a cycle perfected over millions of years. Scientists still don't fully understand how the fungus hijacks the nervous system so completely. But in this quiet, shadowed theater beneath the trees, we're reminded that power in nature doesn't always roar. Sometimes, it whispers through threads of mycelium, commanding from within. Nature hides an entire playbook of strategies, some graceful, some unsettling, all extraordinary. Look around: the sky, the oceans, the iridescent shimmer of butterfly wings. Blue seems common, almost ordinary. Yet in the natural world, true blue pigment is incredibly rare. Most creatures we call blue, blue jays, morpho butterflies, peacocks, aren't actually blue at all. Their color comes from microscopic structures that bend and scatter light so that only blue wavelengths bounce back to our eyes. This phenomenon is called structural coloration, a brilliant optical trick created not by pigment, but by architecture. Producing genuine blue pigment is extremely difficult for living organisms, so almost every natural blue you see is a tiny miracle, light performing physics on the smallest possible stage. Across the dusty savanna, elephants display a behavior shared by very few species: they grieve. When they encounter the bones of a fallen companion, they slow their steps. They touch the remains with their trunks, pause, linger. Some return years later to the same place, gently exploring the bones once again. Elephants have even been observed keeping vigil beside the dying, refusing to leave. Their grief isn't identical to ours, but it is unmistakably deep. They remember, they bond, they feel the weight of absence. Inside these gentle giants, something ancient and tender stirs, a quiet recognition of life's impermanence. Some of Earth's most vibrant ecosystems are built not by plants, but by tiny animals called polyps. Each polyp constructs its home by secreting calcium carbonate, slowly creating the rocky skeletons that eventually form coral reefs. Layer by layer, generation after generation, these skeletons expand into underwater metropolises that can stretch for hundreds of miles. Though they cover less than 1% of the ocean floor, reefs support nearly 1/4 of all marine species. Colorful, fragile, and astonishingly complex, they are living cities raised by millions of unseen builders, proof that the smallest hands can shape the grandest structures. Slime molds resemble something out of a sci-fi film, and their abilities feel just as unreal. They are single-celled organisms with no brain and no nervous system, yet in lab experiments, they can solve mazes. At first, they spread in every direction. Then, slowly, they retract from dead ends, leaving behind only the shortest and most efficient path to food. They don't think. They don't plan. But somehow, they calculate. Using chemical signals and feedback loops, slime molds display a decentralized form of intelligence that defies our expectations, so much so that researchers have compared their patterns to human transportation networks. It's a mesmerizing reminder, not all intelligence needs a brain. The Amazon rainforest doesn't simply receive rain, it creates it. When sunlight warms the canopy, billions of trees release water vapor into the air. This moisture rises, cools, forms clouds, and returns to the forest as rain. A self-renewing cycle so vast that it shapes the climate of an entire continent and even influences weather across the ocean. But when deforestation disrupts this loop, rainfall weakens, drought spreads, and the system begins to falter. The Amazon is not just a forest, it is a living, breathing engine of the planet's atmosphere. The Amazon is often called the lungs of the Earth. But it's more than that. It is the beating heart of South America's atmosphere, pumping moisture, breath, and life into the sky itself. Every day, the forest exhales billions of tons of vapor, building clouds, shaping winds, and orchestrating weather across an entire continent. It is a living engine, one that turns sunlight, leaves, and water into the very rhythm of the sky. In the silent grip of winter, something extraordinary happens beneath the snow. Some frogs don't hide from the cold, they become the cold. The wood frog of North America can freeze completely solid. Its heart stops, its organs shut down, its blood turns to ice. 4 days or even weeks, the frog becomes a sculpture, rigid, motionless, suspended between life and death. But evolution has armed it with natural antifreeze chemicals that protect its cells from bursting. So when spring thaw arrives, the ice melts, its heart starts beating again, and it wakes up and hops away as if it simply took a long nap. Scientists study these tiny amphibians hoping to unlock secrets of cryogenic preservation, but for now, they remain one of nature's quietest miracles. Far below the waves, melodies drift through the darkness. Blue whales produce calls so deep and powerful that they can travel across entire oceans, thousands of miles of underwater distance. These songs help whales find mates, navigate vast seascapes, and pass messages no human has fully decoded. Each whale population has its own vocal culture, almost like regional accents. Humpbacks even compose long, evolving songs, with new phrases spreading like musical ideas through their communities. We may not understand every note, but we know the songs matter, echoes of enormous beings carrying their voices through a world older and wider than our own. Seeds are nature's time capsules, small, silent, and astonishingly patient. Some can sleep for decades, some for centuries, and in rare cases, thousands of years. One ancient date palm seed, discovered in a 2,000-year-old archaeological site, was brought back to life in the modern day. It had waited through forgotten empires and shifting sands before awakening. Protected by tough coats and chemical defenses, seeds endure fire, freezing, drought, and burial. They wait, perfectly still, until the world finally offers the moment they've been built for. Inside every seed is a quiet promise: life can pause, but not end. The glow of fireflies in a summer field. The blue sparkle of plankton in breaking waves. The eerie lantern of a deep-sea predator. These lights aren't reflections, they are living flames, created by biology itself. Bioluminescence has evolved independently more than 40 times across Earth's history. Bacteria glow. Fungi glow. Fish, squid, jellyfish, entire communities of light inhabit the darkness of the deep ocean. Some glow to attract mates. Some to lure prey. Some to vanish in a flash of brilliance. The chemistry is beautifully simple. Luciferase, an enzyme, meets luciferin, a light-producing molecule, and energy becomes light. Across caves, oceans, and the blackest parts of the world, a quiet language of luminescence flickers, a message written again and again in evolution's notebook. The calcium that strengthens your bones didn't come from Earth. It wasn't made in a planet's crust. It was created in the fiery heart of ancient stars. When massive stars reached the end of their lives, they fused lighter elements into heavier ones, calcium among them. Then, in colossal supernova explosions, those elements were scattered into the cosmos. Every bone you carry is built from stardust. Every heartbeat echoes materials born in an explosion older than our planet. It's not poetry. It's physics, and it means you are, quite literally, made of the universe. As eons pass, the remains of long-dead stars drift through space, gathering into swirling clouds of dust and gas. Gravity begins its slow work, pulling, folding, compressing, until new suns ignite and new worlds take shape. On one of those worlds, oceans rise, continents cool, and life eventually takes its first breath. The elements inside you, your calcium, your iron, your carbon, your oxygen, were all forged in the nuclear furnaces of ancient stars. You don't just live in the universe. You are the universe, organized into a form that can think, feel, breathe, and wonder. A conscious pattern of stardust, walking across a planet sculpted by time and light. When we look at a flower, we see colors, reds, yellows, purples. But to many insects, especially bees, those same petals explode with ultraviolet patterns invisible to us. What seems plain to human eyes may blaze with glowing rings, arrows, and landing strips designed to guide pollinators straight to nectar. These UV patterns are more than decoration, they're a symbiotic language. The flower offers a roadmap. The insect offers pollination. Both thrive. Some insects use UV vision to find mates, navigate landscapes, or detect predators. Even the common cabbage butterfly perceives a spectrum we can't imagine. We share the same Earth, but not the same visual world. Around us lies an entire hidden spectrum, messages written in light we will never see. In the sunstruck expanses of Australia, kangaroos carry a biological superpower: they can pause pregnancy. When food is scarce or when a joey is already tucked in the pouch, a female kangaroo can halt the development of a fertilized embryo. This ability, called embryonic diapause, lets her body wait for better conditions. A single kangaroo might have one joey hopping beside her, another nursing in the pouch, and a third embryo suspended in time. When the moment is right, the paused embryo resumes its growth. In a land defined by extremes, nature has granted kangaroos mastery over timing, a reproductive strategy as flexible as the environment they live in. Among the reefs, where color and motion weave together, some fish possess an astonishing ability: they can change their sex. Clownfish live in strict social hierarchies. The largest individual is the breeding female. If she dies, the dominant male will transform into a female, taking her place. Wrasses and other species can switch in the opposite direction, with females becoming males, changing their behavior, hormones, and even their reproductive organs. These shifts aren't symbolic. They are full biological transitions, triggered by social cues or ecological needs. In the ocean, identity is fluid, shaped by opportunity, survival, and the ever-changing world beneath the waves. Every year, countless birds travel extraordinary distances, across deserts, mountain ranges, and entire oceans, only to return to the same nesting sites with uncanny accuracy. Part of this feat comes from a hidden sense: magnetorreption. Some birds carry tiny crystals of magnetite in their beaks or skulls, acting like microscopic compasses. Others may see magnetic fields as faint patterns through specialized proteins in their eyes. This magnetic guidance system works alongside the sun, stars, wind, and landscape, forming a layered, ancient map embedded deep within their biology. We don't fully understand how it all works, but birds follow invisible lines of force that wrap around the Earth, navigating a world we can't perceive. Our planet has its own quiet rhythm, one that flows through every living thing: the carbon cycle. Carbon drifts through the atmosphere, dissolves into oceans, settles into rock, rises through volcanoes, and moves through plants and animals in an endless loop. When you exhale, the carbon dioxide you release becomes part of this global breath. Plants draw it in, turning it into roots, leaves, and stems using sunlight as fuel. Animals eat the plants, releasing carbon back into the air and soil. Over millions of years, carbon becomes coal, limestone, coral, diamond, and begins the journey again. It is the Earth's slow inhalation and exhalation, connecting every forest, every ocean, every organism in a shared cycle older than life itself. The carbon cycle is a planetary heartbeat. Plants pull carbon from the air, animals consume those plants, and decomposers break down whatever remains. Volcanoes release carbon, oceans draw it in. Some of it becomes fossil fuel buried deep underground, some hardens into stone, and some drifts through the atmosphere. This continuous global exchange shapes climate, supports ecosystems, and sustains life. It's a system that moves not only through seasons but through geological ages. And today, it's unbalanced, tilted heavily by human influence. Understanding this cycle reveals Earth as a breathing organism, inhaling and exhaling, growing and decaying. A living world turning silently in space. Long before trees, insects, or fish, the architects of Earth were bacteria. They sculpted surfaces and transformed the atmosphere. Among their creations are stromatolites, layered, rock-like structures that still rise from shallow waters across the globe. Built by cyanobacteria, these formations grow as microbes trap sediments, building upward one thin sheet at a time. Some fossil stromatolites are more than 3.5 billion years old, making them some of the earliest evidence of life on the planet. By producing oxygen through photosynthesis, these tiny organisms reshaped Earth forever, setting the stage for complex life. You can still find living stromatolites today in places like Shark Bay, Australia, quiet, ancient monuments built by microscopic engineers with no tools, no eyes, and infinite patience. In the open ocean, dolphins share a remarkable trait with humans: names. Their communication is a symphony of clicks and whistles, but each dolphin also creates a distinct signature whistle early in life, its acoustic identity. Others remember and use this whistle when addressing that individual. When scientists played recordings of these signature sounds, dolphins reacted the way a person might when hearing their own name. This suggests a level of social awareness, memory, and individual identity once believed to be uniquely human. Living in dynamic, ever-shifting groups, dolphins rely on this ability to maintain bonds and navigate their social world. Beneath the waves, a hint of language echoes in their calls. The Sahara Desert, now an endless expanse of golden sand, was once lush, green, and full of water. Around 6,000 to 8,000 years ago, rain fell often, rivers cut across the land, and vast lakes shimmered under the sun. Elephants, hippos, giraffes, crocodiles, and early humans thrived there. Cave paintings still capture scenes of this thriving world. This era, called the African Humid Period, was triggered by subtle changes in Earth's orbit that strengthened monsoon seasons. When those patterns shifted again, the rains vanished and the desert returned. Yet beneath the dunes lie the remains of ancient lakes, buried forests, and traces of the world that once was. The Sahara is more than a desert, it's a memory of a greener Earth, and a reminder that landscapes can change dramatically over time. Bees, though tiny, possess a surprising cognitive ability. They understand the concept of zero. In controlled experiments, bees were trained to associate fewer symbols with a sweet reward. When shown a blank card, representing nothing, they consistently chose it over cards displaying one or more shapes. This means they recognize that zero is less than any quantity. Only a few animals, such as chimpanzees, parrots, and dolphins, show this level of abstract numerical reasoning. The fact that bees, with brains smaller than a grain of rice, can do the same is extraordinary. Evolution shaped an intelligence perfectly tuned to their needs. A hive may act as a superorganism, but even a single bee can surprise us: small body, tiny wings, and a remarkably capable mind. And then there are wolves, creatures whose return to Yellowstone National Park in the 1990s set off an ecological chain reaction so profound that it reshaped landscapes. Their presence didn't just affect prey populations, it transformed the very rivers. Wolves didn't just reduce deer numbers, they rewrote the landscape itself. With fewer grazers stripping vegetation, shrubs and young trees along riverbanks began to return. Forests grew taller. Birds nested where they hadn't for decades. Beavers came back and built dams, reshaping waterways. As plants recovered, their roots strengthened the soil, reducing erosion and altering the paths of rivers. In some places, the waterways narrowed, stabilized, and began to meander naturally again. This sweeping transformation, known as a trophic cascade, shows how one species can ripple through an entire ecosystem. Wolves, simply by behaving like wolves, triggered a chain reaction that reshaped forests, wetlands, and entire food webs. It's a reminder that nature is a network of invisible threads. Pull one, and everything shifts. And sometimes, in the returning howl of a predator, a wounded landscape begins to heal. Flowers, too, possess unexpected abilities. We think of them as decorative, passive elements of the natural world, colorful, fragrant, and quiet. But some flowers are listening. Research shows that certain blooms can sense the sound of a bee's buzz. When a pollinator approaches, the vibration of its wings causes the petals to tremble, prompting the flower to produce sweeter nectar within minutes. The plant has no ears, of course, but its structure acts like a receiver tuned to specific frequencies. It offers a richer reward precisely when a pollinator is nearby. It's a silent conversation. The bee calls, the flower responds. This acoustic sensitivity offers a glimpse into a deeper truth. Plants perceive their world in subtle, intricate ways. Without nerves or brains, they still sense, react, and adapt in real time. Gardens aren't quiet at all. They hum with unspoken messages. Lichens may look simple, dusty patches on stones or bark, but they are partnerships woven from two worlds. A lichen is not a single organism, but a fusion, a fungus joined with an alga or cyanobacterium. The fungus forms the protective body, the photosynthetic partner crafts food from sunlight. Together, they endure places where almost nothing else survives, from frozen tundra to arid desert cliffs. Their relationship isn't always gentle. Sometimes the fungus dominates, compelling the alga into cooperation. Yet the outcome is resilience, a hybrid life form able to carve out existence in extremes. Lichens are ancient, persistent, and essential. They break rock into soil, nourish animals, and create tiny shelters. Two species intertwined into one, a quiet collaboration etched across the surface of the planet. Tardigrades, water bears, look like tiny, squishy cartoon creatures, but they are among Earth's toughest survivors. You've met them before, floating in the vacuum of space, but their endurance goes far beyond that. They can tolerate freezing, boiling, crushing pressure, intense radiation, and total dehydration. They've been discovered on mountaintops, in deep-sea trenches, and inside ancient ice. When conditions turn lethal, a tardigrade curls into a hardened, dormant form called a tun, a biological pause button. In this state, they may survive for decades, perhaps centuries. Some scientists believe tardigrades could outlast nearly every complex species in the event of a mass extinction, from asteroid impacts to global radiation bursts. They're not indestructible, but they are astonishingly prepared. In the hidden corners of the world, the water bear waits, tiny, ancient, and ready to begin again. Naked mole rats are just as peculiar. Wrinkled, nearly hairless, and living in labyrinths beneath the earth, they break many biological rules. Unlike most mammals, their risk of dying doesn't steadily increase with age. They resist cancer, thrive in low-oxygen environments, and can live up to 30 years, an extraordinary lifespan for a rodent. Their cells remain unusually stable, their proteins resist deterioration, and a mole rat at 5 years old is remarkably similar internally to one at 25. They live in structured underground societies led by a single breeding queen, more like insects than mammals. Their biology is not just strange, it's revolutionary, hinting at pathways to aging resistance and longevity that science is only beginning to understand. Scientists study naked mole rats not just for their oddities, but for the remarkable secrets hidden in their biology, secrets about longevity, cancer resistance, and surviving extreme stress. In their dim underground tunnels, these small, wrinkled creatures live quiet, cooperative lives. Soft-skinned, nearly blind, and unassuming, they may hold insights that one day reshape medicine itself. Your own body, by contrast, is a universe of its own, about 30 trillion cells working together in perfect, silent coordination. Stardust and chemistry woven into a living story. Every thought, every inhale, every heartbeat is the work of microscopic specialists. Muscle cells pull. Neurons fire. Red blood cells deliver oxygen. Skin repairs. The gut churns. The immune system stands guard. You are not a single entity, you're a community. A dynamic mosaic constantly rebuilding itself. Cells die and new ones rise to take their place. Even as you read this, millions of tiny workers labor quietly, keeping you whole. Beneath your skin hums a symphony of cooperation, a miracle of balance performed trillions of times a day. Parrots, bright and bold, add another layer to the wonders of life. Beyond their colorful feathers and playful chatter, some parrots possess extraordinary intelligence. Species like the African grey have shown the ability to count, reason, and grasp abstract concepts like same, different, and even zero. One particularly famous parrot, Alex, learned to identify colors, shapes, quantities, and could answer questions with surprising accuracy. He expressed wants, emotions, and sometimes outsmarted human toddlers in cognitive tasks. In the wild, parrots use this keen intelligence to navigate complex social groups, solve problems, and occasionally use tools. Their brains may be built differently from ours, but evolution sculpted them into thinkers. When a parrot speaks, it's not just mimicry, it's mind at work. The ocean, meanwhile, contains more life than all the forests, plains, and deserts combined. We live on land, but Earth is, in truth, a blue planet. Covering over 70% of the surface, the sea holds most of the planet's biomass, from drifting plankton to giant whales, from glowing deep-sea creatures to vast kelp forests. Coral reefs, open water, abyssal trenches, each is an ecosystem teeming with life. Even a single drop of seawater can hold thousands of tiny organisms. And yet, we've explored only a fraction of it. Most of the deep ocean remains uncharted, silent, dark, and full of mysteries we haven't even imagined. The greatest wilderness on Earth is hidden beneath the waves, alive with currents, movement, and song. On land, the planet's oldest known individual organism is not an ancient tortoise or a massive redwood, but a trembling grove of trees in Utah. It looks ordinary at first glance, a cluster of quaking aspens with leaves that shimmer in the wind. But beneath the soil, every trunk is connected to a single root system. This organism is called Pando. It's a clonal colony that may be more than 80,000 years old. Instead of growing from seeds, it regenerates by sending up new stems from its ancient roots. Individual trunks die and regrow, but the organism itself endures through ice ages, droughts, and centuries of change. Pando is a forest that is also one creature, a vast, living being rooted in time. Even viruses, often seen only as threats, have surprising roles in the story of life. While many cause disease, others are deeply beneficial. Some viruses attack harmful bacteria in our gut, helping maintain a healthy balance. Others slip useful genes into our DNA, guiding adaptation or helping us respond to stress. Remarkably, around 8% of the human genome comes from ancient viruses, genetic remnants passed down for millions of years. Some of these viral genes now play essential roles in development, immunity, and even human reproduction. Viruses are more than invaders. They are architects of evolution, woven into the blueprint of life itself. Tiny genetic threads run through our bodies, woven into the fabric of who we are. Viruses are not only threats, they are ancient partners, sometimes enemies, sometimes unexpected allies, shaping life in ways we're only beginning to understand. Sharks, for example, carry their own story of deep time. Often imagined as modern ocean hunters, their lineage stretches far beyond the age of forests. Sharks appeared more than 400 million years ago. Trees wouldn't rise on land for another 50 million years. Long before leaves unfurled or roots gripped soil, sharks were already gliding through ancient seas. They survived all 5 mass extinctions, including the one that erased the dinosaurs, enduring with bodies so well designed that evolution barely needed to alter them. Today's sharks, whale sharks, hammerheads, lantern sharks, are variations on a blueprint written in deep time. Every movement they make is a whisper from a world older than forests, older than mountains, older than almost everything we know. Rainforests, too, are older and more powerful than they appear. They don't simply sit beneath the sky, they help create it. Each day, millions of trees draw water up through their roots and release it through their leaves in a process called transpiration. This rising vapor forms clouds, which drift inland and fall again as rain. In the Amazon, this cycle is so strong that the forest helps generate much of its own weather. When the forest thrives, so does the rainfall. When trees vanish, moisture dwindles, clouds thin, and eventually the rain itself begins to fade. Rainforests are not spectators in the climate. They are engines. When you stand beneath a rainforest canopy, you stand inside a living system that breathes out clouds, shaping the sky one invisible exhale at a time. In the coastal shallows, another form of ingenuity unfolds, not from forests or predators, but from a humble crab. Decorator crabs practice camouflage as craft. They pluck bits of seaweed, algae, and living sponges, attaching them to their shells with tiny hooked hairs. Some even place live sponges on their backs, allowing them to grow as the crab moves. The disguise hides them from predators, mimics the moving reef, and sometimes grants chemical armor, the sponge toxins making the crab less appealing to anything that might take a bite. It's not full symbiosis, but a form of collaboration. A mobile garden, a living costume, a creature blending art and survival in the quiet, shifting tides. And all around them, vastly outnumbering every living thing, are insects. For every human on Earth, there may be 200 million insects. They live everywhere, from rainforest crowns to frozen mountainsides, from deserts to city cracks. Beetles alone represent nearly a quarter of all known animal species. Insects pollinate, recycle nutrients, feed ecosystems, and quietly keep the planet running. They have survived every mass extinction. Some live for a moment, others for years. Some build vast colonies, others roam alone. They fight wars, grow crops, communicate, navigate, and shape the world in ways most people never notice. We may think of ourselves as rulers of the land, but the insects were here first, and they will almost certainly be here long after us. In New Guinea's rainforests, life expresses itself in yet another form of wonder. Birds of paradise, hidden in dense canopies, carry plumage so dazzling it defies belief, shimmering blues, fiery reds, glowing yellows, velvety blacks. But beauty is only half their story. Males perform intricate courtship dances, each species with its own ritual, hopping, bowing, spinning, snapping, fluffing, transforming themselves into shapes that seem almost unreal. Females watch from branches above, choosing mates based on precision and flair. This intense selection pressure has sculpted some of the most extravagant forms in the natural world. Behind every leap and feathered pose lies evolution's theatrical side, its appetite for drama, for display, for the sheer joy of possibility. In these dances, we see life pushing its limits, turning survival into spectacle. In forgotten corners of basements, branches, and garden fences, spiders produce one of nature's most extraordinary materials. Drawn gently from their bodies, spider silk forms threads that are astonishingly strong, pound for pound, tougher than steel, yet far more elastic. It stretches, cushions impacts, and weaves into intricate webs, snares, and sheltering cocoons. The secret lies in its microscopic architecture, protein chains aligned with remarkable precision, each strand engineered on a molecular scale. And not all silk is the same. Spiders can craft sticky lines for trapping, smooth strands for safety ropes, soft fibers for eggs, and even silk suited for underwater weaving. Scientists study this natural marvel for future technologies, from advanced medical sutures to ultralight armor. Yet the spider itself remains quiet and unassuming, creating masterpieces silently, one shimmering filament at a time. On warm evenings, when the world softens into dusk, tiny sparks drift through the air. Fireflies, nature's lantern bearers, speak to one another using bioluminescent signals. Each species has its own coded rhythm, slow pulses, rapid bursts, or gentle continuous glows. Males glide through the night, broadcasting patterns of light. Hidden among grass or branches, females answer with perfectly timed flashes. Together, they form a luminous dialogue written in the darkness. Inside their glowing abdomens, a chemical reaction involving luciferin and oxygen creates light with almost no heat, a miracle of biological efficiency. But their glow isn't only for romance. Some species use it as a warning to predators, signaling that they taste bitter or contain mild toxins. Every twinkle is a message: attraction, caution, identity. A language of sparks drifting across the summer night. Deep in forests across Africa and South America, some primates turn the landscape into a living pharmacy. When ill or injured, species like chimpanzees actively search for plants they normally ignore: bitter stems, rough leaves, and bark with no nutritional value. They swallow coarse foliage whole to purge parasites, chew specific piths to ease infections, or rub plant extracts onto irritated skin. Many of these plants contain natural antimicrobial or antiparasitic chemicals. This behavior, known as zoopharmacognosy, challenges the long-held idea that only humans use medicine. Whether learned through instinct, observation, or both, these animals show a quiet wisdom. Among the branches and roots lies a hidden apothecary, and some primates already know exactly how to use it. Every breath you take is tied to the ocean in ways you may never realize. Tiny drifting organisms called phytoplankton float near the sunlit surface of the sea, capturing sunlight and turning it into energy. In the process, they release vast amounts of oxygen, more than half of what fills our atmosphere. Though microscopic, they form the foundation of marine life, feeding countless creatures from plankton to whales. Their influence extends far beyond the water. They help stabilize the planet's climate and regulate the air itself. Phytoplankton respond delicately to currents, temperature shifts, and nutrients, making them sensitive indicators of ocean health. Unseen from shore, they drift in massive, glowing clouds beneath the waves, an invisible engine that keeps the planet breathing. In both city parks and secluded forests, crows go about their lives with striking intelligence. Members of the corvid family, they store tools for later use, stash food in carefully chosen hiding spots, and even trade objects to receive better rewards. Experiments have shown that crows will sacrifice an immediate treat if it means gaining something more valuable later. They craft hooks from twigs, bend wires into fishing tools, and grasp cause and effect in ways few animals do. Some can even recognize human faces and remember kindness or hostility for years. Their behavior reveals a mind that looks ahead, evaluates choices, and adapts with intention. For the crow, the future isn't abstract, it's something to prepare for. Their minds, though housed in tiny skulls, rival the cognitive power of great apes. Crows don't simply react, they anticipate. They map out future needs, avoid impulsive choices, and solve problems with a calm, deliberate focus. There's a quiet brilliance behind those dark eyes, a feathered thinker observing the world with patience and intent. They learn. They adapt. They remember. And in their own subtle way, they plan for tomorrow. For certain snakes, vision doesn't end with visible light. Their world glows with temperature. Pit vipers, pythons, and boars possess facial pits, tiny, sensitive organs that detect infrared radiation. These structures allow them to perceive the warmth of prey, forming a kind of thermal silhouette even in absolute darkness. What they see isn't sight as humans know it. It's a heat map universe, warm life outlined against cool night. This sixth sense perception gives them astonishing accuracy when striking at unseen targets. It's not supernatural. It's physics woven into flesh, a specialized way of reading reality crafted by evolution. Every species experiences the world differently. For these snakes, the night burns bright. For most of the year, the Arctic tundra rests under ice and wind, a land of muted color and long stillness. But when summer arrives, brief and blazing, the landscape transforms almost overnight. Frozen ground softens. Sunlight lingers for nearly 24 hours. And suddenly the earth erupts into life. Flowers burst open in brilliant colors. Mosses swell with water. Grasses rise from thawed soil. Pollinators hum through the air, birds return to nest, and animals hurry to feed and raise young before the cold closes in again. The entire ecosystem races against time, sometimes with only weeks to complete a year's work. It is a moment of urgency and beauty, a reminder that even the harshest places know how to bloom. Deep in tropical forests, a sinister story plays out in miniature. A parasitic fungus, Ophiocordyceps unilateralis, infects an ant, slipping quietly into its body. As the fungus spreads, it hijacks the ant's behavior, steering it like a puppet. Still alive, the ant abandons its colony, climbs a stem, and locks its jaws onto a leaf in a death grip. There it dies. But the fungus continues its work. A stalk erupts from the ant's head, releasing spores that drift through the forest to claim new hosts. It sounds like fiction, but it's real. Evolution has sculpted this eerie cycle for millions of years. The forest is full of wonder, but also of dark, elegant strategies. Sometimes the most chilling power belongs to the smallest organisms. At first glance, a sea cucumber seems like a simple creature, a soft, elongated form resting on the ocean floor. But it holds one of the strangest abilities in the animal kingdom. It can turn its body to liquid. By rearranging proteins in its connective tissues, a sea cucumber can shift from firm to almost jelly-like in seconds. This allows it to slip into narrow cracks or evade danger with ease. Then, just as quickly, it can solidify again. Some species go even further, ejecting internal organs as a distraction and later regenerating them. It's survival by shape-shifting, no bones, no struggle, just fluid transformation. In the slow pulse of the sea cucumber glides, melting and reforming like a creature made of living water. In the freezing waters around Antarctica, most animals would ice over from the inside out. But icefish persist, thanks to an extraordinary adaptation: antifreeze proteins circulating through their blood. These specialized molecules latch onto tiny ice crystals and stop them from growing, preventing the fish from freezing. Icefish also lack hemoglobin and red blood cells entirely, giving their blood a pale, ghostly clarity. Instead, oxygen dissolves directly into their plasma and diffuses through their bodies. Slow-moving and resilient, icefish glide through waters that would kill most other creatures. In a world carved by cold, they found a way to keep life flowing. Their unusual physiology reveals how life bends, adapts, and survives where almost nothing else can. Beneath Antarctic ice, in water cold enough to kill most creatures, the icefish glides through the dim blue quiet, pale-blooded, resilient, and unlike anything else on Earth. A termite mound may look like a rough heap of soil, but its simple exterior hides an extraordinary internal design, an insect-built metropolis. Some rise more than 30 feet high, housing millions of termites in a maze of passageways, chambers, nurseries, and food stores. What truly sets these structures apart is their climate control. Through a network of vents and tunnels, warm air rises and escapes while cooler air is drawn upward from below, creating steady convection currents. With no architects, no tools, and no calculations, termites maintain stable temperature and airflow even in climates where daytime heat and nighttime cold swing dramatically. It's an engineering masterpiece crafted by instinct and cooperation. Beneath our feet, a quiet civilization builds towers of earth that rival human architecture in function and efficiency. It sounds like a myth whispered around a campfire, but it's a very real adaptation. The horned lizard of North America can defend itself by shooting blood from its eyes. When threatened, especially by predators like foxes and coyotes, it builds pressure in tiny blood vessels near its eyelids until they burst. A sudden jet of blood, mixed with distasteful chemicals, sprays outward, sometimes several feet. The effect is shocking enough to startle or repel attackers. The lizard remains unharmed, the ruptured vessels heal quickly. In a world full of danger, evolution has carved out some strange solutions. Small, spiky, and unexpectedly dramatic, the horned lizard shows just how creative survival can be. Before forests stood, before fish swam, before eyes ever opened, life emerged in total darkness. On the early Earth, deep-sea hydrothermal vents spewed mineral-rich water into the ocean, creating extreme conditions, scalding temperatures, immense pressure, and no sunlight at all. Yet within this harsh environment, the first living cells took root. These primitive microbes fed not on sunlight but on chemicals released from the vents, using chemosynthesis, the earliest metabolic spark. Today, the deep ocean still shelters bizarre and resilient life forms, giant tube worms, heat-loving microbes, and clams that flourish in the dark. Some scientists believe that if life exists on icy moons like Europa or Enceladus, it may follow the same path, born in hidden oceans, far from starlight, sustained by the warmth of the planet itself. The oldest cradle of life may lie not in the sunlit world above, but in the dark breath of the earth below. On the quiet ocean floor, a starfish moves with slow confidence. If a predator tears away one of its arms, the starfish simply grows a new one. Some species can even regenerate an entire body from a lone detached arm, provided a piece of the central disc remains. This remarkable ability relies on networks of stem cells and a distributed nervous system. A starfish has no brain, just a ring of nerves and a hydraulic system of tubes that help it sense and move. Regeneration is its craft. Over weeks and months, the starfish rebuilds what was lost, cell by cell, returning itself to wholeness. Researchers study these creatures hoping to uncover secrets that might one day improve healing in humans. In the gentle sway of the reef, the starfish is a quiet reminder that renewal is possible. Among Earth's most peculiar animals, the platypus stands unmatched. It sports a bill like a duck, a beaver-like tail, and webbed feet fit for swimming. It lays eggs, not typical for a mammal, but feeds its young with nutrient-rich milk. Platypuses belong to a tiny and ancient group of mammals called monotremes. Unlike most mammals, they have no nipples. Instead, milk seeps through specialized pores in the skin, and the young lap it directly from the mother's fur. Odd, elegant, and wonderfully unique, the platypus bridges ancient reptilian traits with modern mammalian ones, a living reminder that evolution doesn't always follow a straight path. Male platypuses carry venomous spurs on their hind legs. And when they hunt, they slip beneath the surface with their eyes shut, relying on electroreception in their bill to sense faint electrical pulses from hidden prey. Almost everything about the platypus feels like a contradiction, as if nature stitched together a creature from mismatched ideas and then decided to keep it. Yet it's very real. A living echo of an ancient lineage, still gliding through Australian waterways. Gentle, elusive, and delightfully strange. Bats navigate the night using sound instead of sight. As darkness settles, they take to the air, mapping the world through echoes. They release rapid, high-frequency calls that rebound off the objects around them. From those echoes, bats can interpret size, distance, movement, even texture. Some species can pluck a mosquito out of the air with nothing but this acoustic guidance. Their echolocation is so refined they can weave through tangled forests or slip through gaps barely wider than their wings. Not every bat uses this ability, but those that do are among the most precise flyers on Earth. Where we see darkness, they hear an entire landscape. Venus flytraps count before they kill. In the bright, humid bogs of the Carolinas, these quiet hunters wait with open jaws, leaves lined with tiny trigger hairs. A single touch does nothing. But touch two hairs, or the same hair twice within about 20 seconds, and the trap snaps shut in an instant. That pause is intentional. It prevents wasted effort on raindrops, debris, or anything that isn't real prey. Once a struggling insect sets off the count, the trap closes, seals, and slowly digests its meal over several days. It isn't thinking, but it is sensing, measuring, responding. A plant with a countdown. Penguins propose with pebbles. Across the icy coasts of Antarctica, courtship begins with a single stone. Males, especially Adelie and Gentoo penguins, search for the perfect smooth pebble and offer it to a female with a small bow. If she accepts, she adds it to her nest, and together they build a raised cradle to protect their eggs from melting snow. Good stones are valuable, and some penguins sneak them from their neighbors. But more often, the pebble is a genuine gift, a quiet gesture that marks the start of a partnership. In a world of ice and wind, love takes the shape of a simple stone. Some birds can sleep without ever stopping. Species like frigate birds and alpine swifts stay airborne for days or weeks, resting as they glide. They use unihemispheric slow-wave sleep, shutting down half their brain while the other half keeps them aloft and aware. Even their eyes take turns staying open. It's not deep sleep, but it's enough for long journeys over open sea. Suspended on the wind, they drift between wakefulness and dreams. Nature found a way to let rest and motion coexist. The human brain runs on tiny bursts of electricity. Beneath every thought and memory lies a cascade of microscopic sparks leaping from neuron to neuron. With around 86 billion of these cells, each forming thousands of connections, the brain becomes a vast network of electrical and chemical signals. These impulses travel down axons, cross synapses, and form patterns that shape your moods, decisions, and imagination. It's not mechanical electricity but a living one, powered by ions and chemical gradients. A constant storm of signals, shifting and glowing beneath your consciousness. Even in your deepest sleep, the brain never falls fully silent. It drifts into slow, rolling rhythms, gentle electrical waves pulsing beneath your skull. You aren't animated by wires or metal, but by tiny sparks, brief flashes that rise and fade, stitching together the faint hum of consciousness. Cuttlefish can vanish in plain sight. These soft-bodied cephalopods are shape-shifting artists, able to transform their skin's color, pattern, and texture in an instant. Sand, stone, coral, they blend into each one effortlessly. Specialized cells called chromatophores, iridophores, and leucophores expand and contract to produce shifting hues and shimmering effects. The strangest part? Cuttlefish are colorblind. They don't see the world the way we do, yet they mirror it with astonishing precision. Scientists think they rely on brightness, contrast, and polarized light to guide their camouflage. They don't just copy colors, they sculpt themselves. They raise bumps, flatten ridges, and reshape their skin to match their surroundings. Their transformations serve many purposes: hiding, signaling, hunting, even play. One creature, endless disguises. A living canvas that repaints itself moment by moment. The moon orchestrates the birth of coral. On certain luminous nights each year, under a full moon's glow, coral reefs awaken. Across huge stretches of ocean, corals release eggs and sperm in perfect synchronization, a mass spawning so precise it can occur within a single hour. Lunar light, gravity, and timing guide this event, helping corals increase their chances of fertilization in the vast sea. For a brief, magical window, the water fills with drifting life, a slow-motion blizzard of new beginnings. Though corals cannot move, they still follow the rhythms of the cosmos. In the quiet reef, the moon calls, and life rises to meet it. Frogs swallow with their eyes. After snapping up prey with their sticky tongues, they don't chew, instead, they blink. Their eyes sink downward into their skull, pressing against the roof of the mouth and helping push food toward the throat. You can sometimes watch it happen. A blink, a squeeze, and the meal slides down. It's a clever evolutionary shortcut, repurposing what's already there. In frogs, even vision becomes part of digestion. A blink that's doing far more than it seems. Plants can warn each other through the air. When a caterpillar attacks a leaf, the plant doesn't simply endure it. It sends out airborne chemical signals, invisible alerts that drift to neighboring plants. Those plants respond by strengthening their defenses, producing bitter chemicals, toxins, or toughened leaves. The messages can be remarkably specific, changing depending on whether the threat is an insect, a fungus, or something else entirely. Some scientists think these signals evolved to protect relatives, giving seedlings and nearby kin a better shot at survival. Step into a forest or garden, and you're surrounded by quiet conversations, a constant whisper, leaf to leaf. Some trees can clone themselves for thousands of years. High in mountain valleys, a single quaking aspen can spread underground, sending out roots that rise as new trunks. Each one looks like a separate tree, but genetically they are all parts of the same organism. One such colony, known as Pando, is estimated to be over 80,000 years old, older than human civilization, older than most species alive today. Individual trunks die and regrow, but the root system persists, reshaping the forest again and again. A single being spread across centuries, quietly enduring. In these ancient groves, time grows in rings and roots. Earthworms are the silent engineers of the soil. Beneath the surface, hidden in cool, damp earth, they reshape the ground grain by grain. They seem simple, sightless, soft, and quiet, but their impact is enormous. As they burrow, they open tiny passageways that let roots breathe and water flow. They consume fallen leaves and decaying matter, break it down, and return it as nutrient-rich castings that replenish the soil. Their constant motion mixes and aerates the earth, redistributing minerals and organic material. Charles Darwin once suggested that few animals have influenced the world as profoundly as earthworms, and he may have been right. Invisible, patient, and relentless, They build the foundation on which forests grow, crops flourish, and ecosystems stand. Every meadow and garden owes part of its life to the creatures beneath our feet. Giraffes sleep less than almost any other mammal. Standing tall above the savanna, they live in a world where resting too long can be dangerous. So they sleep sparingly, sometimes only 30 minutes, rarely more than 2 hours in a day. Most of this rest comes in quick, light naps while standing. Only on rare, safe moments do they fold their long legs beneath them and curl their necks for a brief spell of deep sleep. Their towering height makes them vulnerable to predators, so vigilance becomes a way of life. Often, one giraffe keeps watch while others doze. How they function on such little rest remains a mystery, but their bodies seem exquisitely adapted to the open landscapes they roam. Under wide African skies, while lions hunt and hyenas prowl, the giraffe dreams, but only for a heartbeat. Some microbes can digest plastic. Materials once believed to persist for centuries are now being broken down by tiny organisms that nature quietly evolved. Certain bacteria and fungi produce enzymes capable of degrading PET, the plastic found in many bottles and containers. The process isn't fast, but it is remarkably efficient, breaking polymers into simpler molecules they can use as fuel. Scientists have discovered these microbes in landfills, soils, and even inside insects. Their existence has sparked a new wave of research aimed at enhancing these enzymes for sustainable recycling. It's not a full solution to our plastic crisis, but it's a hopeful beginning. Even in the waste we've created, life is adapting, evolving new tools to survive, and to clean up the mess we leave behind. Arctic foxes are masters of seasonal disguise. In the far north, where the landscape transforms dramatically each year, they change with it. In winter, their fur becomes pure white, blending seamlessly into snow-covered plains. When summer returns and the tundra darkens, their coat shifts to brown or gray, matching stones, shrubs, and bare earth. This camouflage helps them evade predators and hunt birds, rodents, and whatever the harsh climate allows. Their fur is dense enough to withstand temperatures as low as -50 degrees Celsius, and even the soles of their feet are insulated. With every season, the fox becomes a new version of itself, shaped by the land, molded by survival, a quiet shapeshifter of the Arctic. The deep sea is filled with life that feels almost extraterrestrial. Beneath the last traces of sunlight lies a realm of bitter cold, crushing pressure, and eternal darkness. Yet life thrives there. Fish dangle glowing lures from their foreheads. Jellyfish drift like floating lanterns. Transparent predators glide through black water. Spindly crabs move with mechanical grace. Some creatures survive on chemicals from hydrothermal vents, heat and minerals rising from beneath the earth. Others drift through the abyss, glowing softly in the dark. Many have evolved enormous jaws, strange limbs, or bodies so faint they are nearly invisible. We've explored only a tiny fraction of this world, but what we've seen is astonishing, an alien wilderness hidden beneath the waves, vast and quietly alive. We often think of tools as the domain of primates or humans. But in the wild, many birds prove just as inventive. Crows, ravens, and especially New Caledonian crows craft tools from sticks, leaves, and even bits of wire, shaping them into hooks to pull insects from hidden crevices. They bend, trim, and refine their tools with deliberate precision. But they are far from the only avian engineers. Green herons drop small objects onto the water's surface, using them as bait to lure curious fish. Woodpecker finches in the Galapagos use stiff twigs as makeshift forceps. Egyptian vultures heft stones and smash them against thick ostrich eggs, one of the few ways to break those near-indestructible shells. These behaviors aren't random. Birds select their tools, modify them, and use them with purpose. Young birds often learn by watching elders, a quiet inheritance of technique passed from one generation to the next. It's problem-solving. It's creativity. Proof that intelligence wears feathers as easily as fur. Camels can endure weeks without water, wandering through deserts where heat shimmers and shade is scarce. They don't store water in their humps as legend claims. The humps hold fat, a reserve of both energy and metabolic water when broken down. Their bodies conserve moisture with remarkable efficiency. Their kidneys reclaim nearly every drop. Their droppings are almost completely dry. Their body temperature rises and falls throughout the day, reducing the need for sweating. Even their red blood cells are uniquely elastic, able to flow smoothly even when dehydration thickens the blood. Every part of a camel is shaped by scarcity. Long lashes shield their eyes from blowing sand. Thick lips let them chew thorny plants without injury. Broad, cushioned feet keep them steady on shifting dunes. They aren't simply desert survivors, they are masterpieces of endurance, sculpted by sun and sand. Before a chick ever cracks its shell, it speaks. Soft, rhythmic chirps echo from inside the egg, tiny signals meant for its mother and its siblings. Mother hens answer these faint calls with gentle clucks, adjusting their posture or turning the eggs in response. Even unhatched siblings reply, coordinating their timing so they emerge together. These early conversations help regulate development, synchronize hatching, and strengthen social bonds before life even begins. Some researchers believe these prenatal calls shape breathing patterns and stress responses. The egg is not silent. It is a small chamber filled with sound, heartbeats, breaths, and whispered messages of arrival. Winter is merciless for small creatures, yet some insects meet the cold with extraordinary resilience. Species like the Arctic woolly bear moth and the goldenrod gallfly can survive being frozen solid. They produce special chemicals, cryoprotectants, that prevent ice crystals from forming within their cells. In freezing temperatures, their metabolism slows to a microscopic crawl. They don't move or feed. Life narrows to a faint biological hum. And yet they endure. When the warmth of spring returns, they thaw, awaken, and continue their lives as though the cold had only been a pause. It's not sleep. It's suspended animation. A delicate truce between life and winter. Polar bears, icons of the Arctic, appear snow-white, but beneath their thick coats lies jet-black skin. That dark surface absorbs sunlight, helping them conserve precious warmth in frigid air. Their fur itself is translucent, each hollow strand scattering light until it appears white, blending them seamlessly into the ice. Their massive paws are broad and ridged for traction on slippery snow. They swim with powerful strokes, navigating icy seas in search of seals, their primary prey. Every element of their design, fur, skin, bones, and muscle, is tuned for survival in a world of cold and light. Under the Arctic sun, a polar bear glows pale as frost. But beneath that brightness lives a body built to hold every glimmer of heat it can find. Jellyfish aren't just beautiful, they are masterpieces of survival shaped by a frozen, drifting world. Some can even copy themselves. They move like soft ghosts, slow and weightless, but there's far more happening beneath their quiet presence. Certain species can clone themselves during their early life stages. When a young jellyfish, called a polyp, is damaged or torn apart, the pieces can regenerate into entirely new individuals. Even adults can sometimes bud off new jellyfish from fragments of their bodies. It isn't reproduction in the usual sense. It's replication, an internal reset written into their biology. For the so-called immortal jellyfish, Turritopsis dawni, this goes even further. It can revert all the way back to its earliest life stage and begin again. In the shifting tides, jellyfish drift between injury and renewal. Soft, ancient, patient. In their gentle pulse, life continues through regeneration and reinvention. You shine more than you realize. Like many living organisms, the human body emits a tiny, invisible bioluminescent glow. It isn't like the bright flashes of fireflies or the lights of deep-sea creatures. Instead, it comes from microscopic reactions inside us. When free radicals interact with lipids and proteins, they release tiny packets of light known as photons. With ultra-sensitive cameras, scientists have captured this glow. It rises and falls throughout the day, peaking in the late afternoon. Our faces shine the most, likely due to higher metabolic activity. The glow is incredibly weak, about 1,000 times dimmer than what the eye can detect, yet it's always there. Even in sleep, your body isn't still. It breathes, it hums, and quietly, it glows. The boundary between sea and shore is blurrier than it appears. Several species of fish have evolved the ability to leave the water and travel across land. The mudskipper uses its powerful pectoral fins to walk over mudflats and even climb roots and low branches. It breathes through its skin and mouth lining, staying moist so it can absorb oxygen outside the water. The climbing perch of Southeast Asia can survive for days out of water, gulping air and crawling short distances in search of new ponds. Certain eels even slither through wet grass at night, migrating between streams. These strange, amphibious journeys are more than curiosities. They echo a transformation that once reshaped life on Earth, the ancient step from sea to land. At the edge of water and earth, evolution stretches its limits. One fin, one breath, one step at a time. When floods overwhelm their world, fire ants don't scatter, they join. Clinging together with jaws and legs, thousands form a living raft that rides the floodwaters. Each ant grips the next, creating a dense, water-resistant structure capable of carrying the queen, larvae, and food to safety. The raft flexes and shifts with the water. Air trapped between their bodies keeps it buoyant. If the raft is disturbed, it reforms instantly. There is no leader, no blueprint, just simple rules followed by each ant, and from those rules emerges a collective machine that can float for weeks. In a violent flood, a fragile species becomes a single organism, calm, unified, and unstoppable. Dip your fingers into the ocean, and you're touching an entire hidden universe. In just one drop of seawater, there can be thousands, sometimes millions, of microscopic organisms. Tiny plankton, algae, bacteria, viruses, larvae, and countless other life forms drift together in a shimmering, invisible world. Many are translucent or jewel-like. Some glow. Others form the foundation of the ocean's entire food web, sustaining everything from coral reefs to blue whales. These microscopic beings generate oxygen, recycle carbon, and even influence the planet's climate. We almost never see them, yet they shape the world we live in. A single drop becomes a world. And the ocean, seen this way, becomes a galaxy of life. Life can survive in boiling acid pools. In volcanic landscapes where temperatures soar and acids hiss and burn, life quietly persists. Places like Yellowstone's scorching springs or Ethiopia's Danakil Depression aren't barren wastelands, they're home to extremophiles, microbes built for conditions that would dissolve most life. Some withstand heat far beyond boiling. Others live in water as acidic as battery fluid. Instead of sunlight, they rely on chemosynthesis, drawing energy from sulfur, iron, or the minerals around them. Their proteins and cell membranes are engineered on a molecular level to remain stable in environments that melt ordinary biology. These organisms may resemble the earliest life on Earth, and perhaps the kind of life we might discover on distant worlds. In the harshest corners of the planet, life doesn't merely endure. It innovates. It finds shelter in fire and whispers a quiet truth. If conditions allow it, life will try. When darkness falls and photosynthesis stops, plants must ration their stored energy. And remarkably, they perform a form of biological arithmetic to do it. During the day, they produce sugars and store them as starch. At night, they break that starch down slowly to stay alive until sunrise. To manage this, they divide the amount of stored energy by the number of hours until dawn, adjusting their consumption accordingly. Too quickly, and they run out. Too slowly, and precious energy goes unused. This calculation isn't conscious. It happens through chemical signals and feedback loops inside each leaf. Yet it is precise. Every night, a silent equation unfolds in the dark, and without awareness or intention, a plant makes a plan. Even in stillness, life thinks. When an owl sweeps through the night, the air barely stirs. Its flight is almost perfectly silent, a mastery of stealth crafted over millions of years. The secret lies in its wings. Owls have uniquely shaped feathers with soft, comb-like edges that disrupt turbulence. A velvety surface coats their wings, absorbing sound. Even the exact spacing of the feathers is tuned to muffle noise. This silence lets them hunt with uncanny precision, listening for the faintest rustle beneath leaves or snow. No whoosh, no flutter, just stillness. Most birds announce themselves when they fly. The owl does not. It moves like a shadow stretched into feathers, heard only if it chooses to speak. Cut most animals in half and that's the end. But certain flatworms, like planarians, follow a different rule. They can regrow their entire body, even from tiny fragments. Slice one into several pieces, and each piece can become a complete worm again. This extraordinary skill comes from a special kind of stem cell called a neoblast. These cells can turn into any tissue, muscle, nerve, organ, even brain. Scientists study them to unravel the secrets of regeneration, hoping someday to apply that knowledge to human healing. In the still water of freshwater pools, the flatworm drifts, divides, and reforms. Each time it's broken, it returns whole. Life refusing to accept an ending. They seem ordinary, city birds pecking at sidewalks and fluttering across rooftops. But pigeons are far more perceptive than they appear. Studies show they can recognize individual human faces, remembering who has fed them and who has chased them away. Even when people change their clothes, pigeons can still identify them based solely on facial features. Their strong visual memory also helps them navigate vast distances, distinguish artistic styles, and even identify words in lab experiments. Some can sort objects into categories or learn sequences once thought limited to primates. In the rush of urban life, they blend into the background. But they see more than we think. Watching, recalling, learning. The city is their sky, and they may already know you. Hidden inside your cells is a record not just of your ancestors, but of ancient infections. About 8% of the human genome comes from retroviruses that infected our distant predecessors long before our species existed. Long ago, viruses slipped their way into the reproductive cells of our ancestors. And instead of being destroyed, their genetic material stayed. It fused with ours, copied itself forward through generations, and became part of the blueprint that builds every human today. Over millions of years, many of these viral remnants have mutated into silence, genetic fossils with no remaining function. But others have been rewritten by evolution into something useful. Some help regulate brain development. Some play key roles in forming the placenta, the organ that allowed mammals to carry young inside the body at all. In a very real sense, you are part virus. Not infected, but assembled from the remnants of ancient biological battles. Your genome is not a single story. It is an anthology of survival, stitched together from creatures the world no longer remembers. It doesn't roar. It doesn't move. It rarely shows itself at all. Yet the largest organism on Earth is a fungus living in the quiet soils of Oregon. This single armillaria individual spreads underground across more than 2,000 acres, weaving a vast network of mycelium, thread-like filaments that creep through roots and soil. It may be thousands of years old, a slow, patient giant existing mostly in shadow. Above ground, it produces only the occasional mushroom. But these are just brief flickers of its true form. Its real body lies beneath the forest, feeding, connecting, and enduring. Not the tallest, fastest, or brightest, but in reach, age, and sheer presence, unmatched. The world under your feet may hold more life than the world above. Bees aren't only industrious, they are surprisingly intelligent. In one experiment, researchers trained bees to roll tiny balls into a target to earn a sugar reward. Nearby bees observed, then copied the behavior without being taught. Some even improved the technique, choosing faster or easier methods than the original demonstrators. This kind of social learning, watching, understanding, imitating, is rare among small-brained creatures. Inside the hive, knowledge doesn't spread through language. It spreads through action, through observation, through example. The hum of a hive carries more than the sound of wings. It carries ideas. Sleep is everywhere in nature, but it doesn't always look the same. Certain fish, like parrotfish and some sharks, experience unihemispheric sleep. Only one half of the brain rests while the other stays alert. One hemisphere dreams of rest. The other keeps watch for predators, handles slow swimming, and monitors currents. This split form of sleep lets them survive in an environment where the water never stops moving and danger never fully sleeps. Dolphins and whales share this adaptation. They must remain conscious to breathe, so their minds rest one side at a time. In the ocean, sleep is not surrender. It is a delicate negotiation between restoration and vigilance. Chameleons are famous for their color-changing skin, but camouflage is only part of the story. Their shifts in hue are deeply tied to mood, temperature, and social signals. A calm chameleon may stay soft green or muted brown. But during a confrontation, a courtship dance, or a burst of excitement, it can flare into bright yellows, blues, and reds. These colors don't come from pigments alone, but from microscopic crystals within their skin. By adjusting the spacing of these crystals, they change the wavelengths of light they reflect, a display born from physics rather than paint. Their colors are language, warnings, invitations, declarations of dominance, or whispers of submission. The forest is their stage. Their skin is their voice. All around us, invisible sheets of force stretch between the poles, the planet's magnetic field. Many creatures can sense these lines as if feeling a map laid across the world. Sea turtles detect magnetic signatures to return to the beaches where they were born. Migratory birds follow internal compasses across continents. Salmon navigate from open ocean back to the exact river where their life began. Even some insects and bacteria orient themselves using magnetic cues. The mechanism remains partly mysterious. Tiny crystals of magnetite may help. Light-sensitive proteins in the eyes may play a role. But the result is unmistakable. Earth offers a whisper of direction, and life follows it. Despite extinction, upheaval, and cosmic inches of chance, life has never stopped reinventing itself. It rose from boiling vents in the deep ocean, spread across continents, filled the skies with wings and the seas with fins, burrowed underground, climbed into trees, and eventually looked back at the universe that made it. Life is persistence. Life is invention. Life is the quiet, unstoppable urge to continue. In every corner where conditions allow, from the hottest springs to the darkest depths, from sprawling forests to the cells of your own body. It adapted to cold, to heat, to acid, to vacuum, even to time itself. Every moment it seemed cornered, it discovered a new shape, a new strategy. It grew feathers, fur, armor, and thought. It built coral reefs and root systems, nests and cities. Even now, in the deepest caves, the saltiest lakes, and the hottest springs, life is beginning again and again. Not perfect, not always beautiful, but endlessly determined. In you, in me, in every leaf, every breath, every cell. The experiment continues, and the story is still being written. And now, with the final fact gently settling into place, let the world grow quiet around you. We've wandered through oceans and forests, deserts and tundras, mountain peaks and ancient roots. We've listened to the silent conversations of plants, the glow of jellyfish, the songs of whales. And through it all, one truth echoes softly beneath the surface. Life is extraordinary, not because it is flawless, but because it persists. It adapts, it endures, and it continues to surprise us. Somewhere right now, a coral is releasing its eggs into the dark. A bird is flying in its sleep. A flower is counting the footsteps of a bee. And you are part of this story, too, not separate from nature, but made of it. Cells and sparks, memories and motion, a living thread in the long, unfolding pattern of Earth. So wherever you are, allow your mind to rest. Let your breath slow. Let your thoughts soften at the edges. The journey doesn't end, it simply pauses here until curiosity calls again. Sleep well, and thank you for dreaming with us.